Welcome to Royal Daily Report, your #1 source for explosive royal investigations and breaking news that mainstream media refuses to cover. I'm your host, and tonight we bring you the most devastating blow to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle yet. Buckingham Palace has just made a final, irreversible decision about Archie and Lilibet that will change their lives forever. What the monarchy has done is brutal, calculated, and absolutely permanent. This is the investigation that reveals the true power of the crown. Stay with us for this groundbreaking report. For years, Buckingham Palace acted like it didn't hear a thing, and now, suddenly, everything has changed. Word from inside the palace claimed that official papers had finally been prepared. Not draft notes, not warnings, not "we'll decide later," but final orders. Orders that would permanently change the future of two children who never asked to be part of this fight, Archie and Lilibet. According to those familiar with the process, the message inside those papers was brutally simple. Their claim to royal identity is gone. Not delayed, not under review, gone. And the moment those words were written, the silence of the palace finally made sense. They weren't ignoring anything. They were waiting, calm, patient, and absolutely certain that the rule book would speak louder than anything Meghan and Harry said publicly. Make sure to subscribe to Royal Daily Report right now and smash that like button for this explosive investigation. But to understand why the monarchy made such a cold final decision, we have to open a very old book. One written long before Meghan, Harry, or their children were ever imagined. A rule book that has controlled the royal bloodline for more than 100 years. The year was 1917. The world was at war. Empires were collapsing, and the British monarchy was desperately trying to protect itself from confusion, imposters, and political threats. So, King George V did something no monarch had done before. He wrote down in official legal language exactly who could be called a prince or princess. Not as a story, not as tradition, as law. His declaration was called the Letters Patent, and it became the backbone of royal identity for every generation that followed. Inside this document were 3 strict rules a royal child must meet. Rule 1. The child must be of legitimate royal bloodline. The monarchy wanted to make sure no one without clear royal heritage slipped into the line. Rule 2. The child's birth must be formally recognized and recorded by the crown. Not by a press release, not by a private announcement, by the royal household itself. Rule 3. The child must be connected to the Church of England through an official christening. This wasn't optional. It was considered a legal step in royal identity. These rules were cold, precise, and unchanging. They were designed to protect the monarchy from exactly what it feared most: confusion. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Royal Daily Report to stay updated on this shocking royal decision. For decades, every royal birth followed these rules perfectly. No shortcuts, no exceptions, no drama. When Prince William was born, every protocol was followed. When Prince George arrived, the palace made sure every document was in order. When Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis were born, the same precise steps were taken. The system worked because everyone followed the same ancient rules, until Archie was born and the very first crack appeared in the royal record. Now, let's talk about what makes these rules so powerful. In the royal world, protocol isn't just about tradition. It's about legal protection. Every step, from the moment a royal baby is conceived to the day they receive their title, is carefully documented. Why? Because the monarchy has learned from centuries of history that without clear rules, chaos follows. Pretenders to the throne emerge. Scandals erupt. Questions about legitimacy arise. And once doubt enters the royal bloodline, it can destroy everything. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report now and hit that like button to support our groundbreaking investigations. Archie's birth in 2019 should have been simple. A joyful announcement. Smiling parents, a new baby welcomed into history. And at first, that's exactly how it looked. But inside the legal paperwork, inside the one document meant to protect a royal child's identity forever, something strange happened. Archie's birth certificate originally listed his mother as most legal documents would. Rachel, Meghan Markle, everything normal, everything correct. But later, the document was changed quietly, suddenly, without a clear explanation. Meghan's full legal name was removed and replaced with one phrase: Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. Now, normally, birth certificates are locked. They don't get edited like school essays or updated like social media profiles. They are meant to be permanent. So, when this change appeared, it set off alarm bells behind palace walls. Meghan claimed the palace forced the change. Palace aides claimed Meghan requested it. Both sides denied the other, and no one ever gave a final agreed-on answer. But here's what mattered to the monarchy. A royal birth record had been altered. And once a royal record has doubt attached to it, that doubt becomes a crack, one that spreads, one that grows, one that eventually leads to everything collapsing. Make sure you're subscribed to Royal Daily Report and have smashed that like button for more shocking revelations. Let me explain why this birth certificate change was such a big deal. In the history of the British monarchy, birth certificates are treated like sacred documents. They're not just pieces of paper. They're legal proof of identity, lineage, and legitimacy. When Princess Diana gave birth to William and Harry, their birth certificates were filled out correctly the first time and never changed. When Kate Middleton had her children, the same thing happened. Perfect documentation from day one. But with Archie, something went wrong. And in the royal world, when something goes wrong with official documents, it raises questions that never go away. Some experts believe Meghan wanted the change to appear more royal, to distance herself from her American identity. Others think the palace forced the change to send a message. Either way, the result was the same. The first official document of Archie's life became controversial, and that controversy would follow him forever. Hit that subscribe button and like this video right now to stay informed with Royal Daily Report. By the time Lilibet was born in 2021, the palace had already learned something powerful. Silence can be louder than any statement. Because when her birth came, the world expected a familiar scene. Royal doctors standing by. Official announcements from Buckingham Palace. Photographers ready to document the newest member of the royal family. But none of that happened. Instead, the birth of Harry and Meghan's daughter arrived from thousands of miles away, wrapped in a cheerful press release from sunny California. A modern announcement, a friendly message, a picture-perfect statement. But something was missing. Actually, someone was missing. The crown. There was no royal seal, no palace confirmation, no formal record, no appearance of any official royal witness. And to those who study royal protocol, this wasn't small. This was a signal, a quiet message delivered without a single spoken word. We are not claiming this. For centuries, royal births had been treated almost like historical ceremonies. Every detail mattered. Where the child was born, who delivered them, which doctors signed off, how the crown recorded it. These steps weren't just tradition. They were the monarchy's way of saying this child belongs to our history. Don't miss any updates, subscribe to Royal Daily Report, and like this video right now. But with Lilibet, none of those steps were followed. To the public, it looked like a simple difference. One baby born in the UK, one baby born in America. But to the palace, it was much bigger. A royal child was introduced to the world without the crown's involvement, making her the first Windsor descendant in modern times to enter the world outside the royal record. And inside Buckingham Palace, this wasn't viewed as an accident. It was viewed as a shift, a break from the pathway every royal baby had walked for over 100 years. The quiet rejection had begun. Now, let's compare this to how other royal births were handled. When Prince Louis was born in 2018, the palace issued an official statement within hours. The doctors signed documents, the royal household recorded every detail. The same thing happened with Princess Charlotte in 2015 and Prince George in 2013. Every single time, the palace was involved from start to finish. But with Lilibet, born just 3 years after Louis, the palace said nothing. They didn't acknowledge the birth for days. When they finally did, it was a brief, polite statement with no official seal, no royal ceremony, no traditional protocol. The message was clear. This is not our child. This is Harry and Meghan's child. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report now and smash that like button for more exclusive investigations. If the birth raised eyebrows, what happened next triggered real alarm. Months later, Meghan shared that Lilibet had been baptized in California. She spoke warmly about the ceremony, the joy, the photos, the meaning. But behind palace walls, the reaction was very different. Because for royal children, a baptism isn't just a family event. It is one of the core requirements set by the 1917 Letters Patent. It's the moment the child is formally tied to the Church of England, the crown, and the centuries of tradition behind them. It is a legal marker just as important as a birth certificate. But according to sources familiar with church records, Lilibet's California baptism was never registered with the Church of England. To the couple, it was a beautiful celebration. To the monarchy, it was a ceremony that didn't exist. And in the royal world, this is not a small issue. This is structural. A child without a recognized Church of England christening is considered outside the official record. No matter how heartfelt the ceremony was, make sure to like and subscribe to Royal Daily Report for the truth others won't report. Let me give you some historical context. Every single royal child in modern history has been christened in the Church of England with proper documentation. Prince William was christened at Buckingham Palace. Prince Harry was christened at Windsor Castle. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis were all christened in royal chapels with the Archbishop of Canterbury present. These weren't just pretty ceremonies. They were legal requirements. The Archbishop signs documents, the Church records the christening, the monarchy files the paperwork. It's a system that's been working for over a century. But Lilibet's christening in California broke all of these rules. No Archbishop of Canterbury, no Church of England official, no royal documentation. To the palace, it was as if the christening never happened. And without that official christening, Lilibet had failed one of the 3 core requirements to be considered a legitimate royal heir. Hit that like button and subscribe to Royal Daily Report right now. Inside palace circles, this was viewed as an avoidable but irreversible mistake. The Crown saw it as a break in protocol, not by the child, but by the parents. And instead of strengthening Lilibet's connection to the monarchy, the event did the opposite. It left her floating between 2 worlds, celebrated by her family in America, but unrecognized by the institution she was born into. While these cracks formed quietly, another problem was growing, something far more personal and far more painful. When Meghan married Harry, she didn't just join a family, she stepped into a global story, a royal story. As cracks in the royal foundation widened around his children, Harry did something no one expected from a prince who swore he was done with the monarchy. He reached back. According to those familiar with the private conversations, Harry made late-night calls to the very institution he had walked away from. These were not strategic calls, not polished media-ready speeches. They were emotional, personal, pleading. He begged the palace to reconsider, begged for Archie and Lilibet to be written into the royal record, begged for the titles he believed his children deserved by blood. Don't forget to subscribe and like for Royal Daily Report's exclusive coverage. Sources say Harry argued that his children had royal blood running through their veins. He reminded the palace that he was still a prince, still in the line of succession, still a son of the late Princess Diana. He believed that should be enough. He thought love, family, and bloodline would override protocol. But he was wrong. To Harry, this wasn't about fame or branding. This was about legacy, the one thing he thought he could protect even after stepping down. He believed he could leave royal duties behind and still raise royal heirs. But every time he tried to explain, he hit the same unmovable wall. A palisade allegedly responded to him with a sentence so cold, so direct, that it would echo in his mind for months. This is not about emotion. This is about order, lineage, and the future of the crown. And for Harry, that was the moment everything shifted, because he realized something devastating. He wasn't just the prince who stepped away from royal life, he had become the prince whose children were being erased from it. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report now and smash that like button. Behind closed doors, palace advisors held meetings about the Sussex children. These weren't emotional discussions. They were legal reviews. Constitutional experts examined every document. Historians looked at precedents. Lawyers reviewed the 1917 letters patent word by word. And every single time, they came to the same conclusion. Archie and Lilibet did not meet the requirements. The birth certificate had been altered. The California birth was never officially recorded by the Crown. The christening was not recognized by the Church of England. 3 strikes, 3 failures, 3 reasons to deny the titles. One senior palace official reportedly said, "We are not being cruel. We are being correct. The law is the law, and it applies to everyone, even princes." This wasn't about punishing Harry and Meghan. This was about protecting the institution. If the palace made an exception for Archie and Lilibet, what would stop others from demanding exceptions in the future? What would prevent confusion about who is truly royal and who isn't? The monarchy had to draw a line, and they chose to draw it here, with these two children. Make sure you're subscribed and have liked this video on Royal Daily Report. Once the palace made its decision, it moved with extraordinary precision. No cameras, no press conferences, no dramatic royal statements, just quiet, steady action. The kind the crown is famous for. According to insiders, the consequences were not gentle, not temporary, not negotiable. This was the full list of what Archie and Lilibet allegedly lost. No royal titles, no prince, no princess, no ceremonial roles, no official duties, no public honors, no place in the line of succession. Names removed or blocked from the legal order, no crown-funded security, their protection left entirely to their parents, no permanent record in royal archives. The books that outlast centuries no longer include them. In the world of royalty, titles aren't just words, they are keys. They open doors to history. They tie a child to a lineage. They guarantee a place in a story larger than any individual. Without those keys, a royal child becomes ordinary. And that is exactly what the palace's final orders did. They stripped away everything that connected Archie and Lilibet to the centuries-old Windsor legacy, not as punishment, not as revenge, but as protocol. The monarchy had acted, and nothing would be the same again. Hit that subscribe button and like this video for Royal Daily Report. Let me break down what this really means for Archie and Lilibet's future. Without royal titles, they will grow up as ordinary American children. They won't attend royal events. They won't appear on the Buckingham Palace balcony. They won't be part of coronations, weddings, or state occasions. When King Charles passes away and Prince William becomes king, Archie and Lilibet won't be there. When Prince George eventually becomes king, decades from now, their names won't be mentioned in the ceremony. They will be completely outside the royal story. In history books written 100 years from now, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis will be listed with full royal biographies. But Archie and Lilibet, they might get a footnote. Prince Harry had 2 children who were not recognized as royals. That's it. That's their entire royal legacy. Everything their father fought for, everything their mother wanted for them, gone in one palace decision. Don't miss this. Subscribe and like Royal Daily Report right now. In the end, Buckingham Palace never shouted, never argued, never tried to out-talk the whirlwind of interviews, podcasts, or documentaries. It didn't need to because the monarchy has always understood its greatest power: silence. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is strategy. Silence is the crown's way of saying everything without saying a word. For years, the palace watched from a distance, quiet, still patient. It watched Meghan build her brand as a royal mother. It watched Harry struggle to bridge 2 worlds. It watched the documentaries, the public speeches, the palace criticisms, all without responding. Because the monarchy knew something the rest of the world forgot. Power is not proven with noise. Power is proven with finality. And when the time came, the crown acted with the cold precision of an institution older than empires. It erased titles. It rewrote records. It removed names from history's path with a message that will echo louder than anything Harry and Meghan have ever said. The crown does not bend. Not for personalities, not for celebrity, not for noise or attention. And once the crown chooses to erase your place in its story, you are not a rebel. You are not a threat. You are not even a chapter. You are simply gone. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report and like this video for more explosive investigations. That is the monarchy's final message. Chilling, quiet, permanent. And it leaves one last truth lingering in the air. Archie and Lilibet will grow up loved, protected, and free. But the pages of royal history, the pages that last longer than any interview or documentary, will not carry their names. The absence is the punishment. The silence is the answer. And the decision, once made, is forever. This is the power of the British monarchy, not in crowns or castles, but in the ability to erase you from history with a single document. Harry and Meghan can give interviews. They can write books. They can build brands and make millions. But they cannot give their children what the palace has taken away: royal identity, royal legacy, a place in the story that never ends. The crown has spoken, and its word is final. This has been Royal Daily Report, bringing you the most devastating decision in modern royal history. Thank you for watching this exclusive investigation into Buckingham Palace's final orders that have permanently changed Archie and Lilibet's future. If you found this story shocking, please please hit that like button right now and subscribe to our channel for more breaking royal news and exclusive investigations that expose the truth behind palace walls. Share this video with everyone who needs to know how the monarchy just erased 2 children from royal history. Make sure to turn on notifications so you're the first to know when we post more updates on this developing story. We'll continue following the Sussex saga as more revelations emerge. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected with Royal Daily Report. Remember, we bring you the investigations that reveal the true power of the crown.